have a nice landing. Float so you don't fall. Fly with who you ran with.
Came by from Nets Gaming Crew and spoke to you guys. So hope he gave you a little background on what he does, and I'll give you background on what I do. Did you want to introduce me, or are you good? I don't make sure. I don't want to just jump in there.
yeah. Let's do it like this. So, guys, here's the deal. Like I mentioned, the narrative that we've been creating for the year is, can you build careers in esports? And my answer to that is always yes. And as you can see, I like to bring live examples. And today we have somebody from, it's a community relations representative with the NBA 2K League, which is also a subsidiary with the, working in conjunction with the NBA. So when you email him, you always will see at NBA.com. So he's definitely somebody who's well connected within the industry, knows what's going on. So let's give a round of applause to Mr. Graham Borden.
Thank you guys. Yeah. So I'll give you a little explanation of my role and how I got here, and then I'll open it up for some questions. One thing I will say, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I went to high school in Long Island. I'm from Long Island. I went to North Babylon High School, graduated. So down the road.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, go Bulldogs. My little sister went to Babylon, so I used to come to her games and watch her play against Wyandanch. So it was always good times. Yes, I know, I'm a Long Island boy, quiet as kept, but but let's get to it. So my name is Graham Borden. I'm also known as Black Frame White, or BFW, in terms of my gamer tag or quote unquote stage name. My role in the NBA is I'm the NBA 2K League Global Community Ambassador. So what does that mean, right? How do you go from North Babylon High School, from Long Island, or anywhere where you're from, to where I'm at, right? I think to your teacher's point, I think it's about building your career in esports. And how do you do that, right? It's brand new. Esports is only 20 years old. You can be a professional gamer, which is someone who has skill in the game and fights and goes through the amateur ranks to get put on a professional franchise. Or you could be someone like me who created content, YouTube, Twitch. I was a streamer and just the overall content creator for about a good 6 years. How did I get to this role? I don't know if you guys have that question, but I'll start my story there. Basically around 2K18, the NBA and Take-Two, which is the publisher who creates the game NBA 2K, or the series NBA 2K, decide to come together as 50-50 partners and create the NBA 2K League. In season 1 of the 2K League, I was an analyst. What does that mean exactly? So I watched the games and I gave my opinion on players, on franchises. So if someone, the small forward for Wizards District Gaming, had 24 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds, I would critique his gameplay as part of a YouTube series with my friend, who's now the head coach, is the head coach of Jazz Gaming, Jelani Comp Mitchell, who's actually another guy from New York. So with that being said, we created this show called First Shake, which was a parody of First Take. And what we did was just talk about, it was a debate show where we talked about 2K League topics. A big part of your journey in esports is always about having knowledge in the field and also understanding the point of luck and opportunity coming together, right? So a lot of what's going to happen in life for you guys is being prepared for when that opportunity comes. So as I talk about my story, I want to make sure I give you the caveats that go with it. So as I was doing this content for the league, a lot of the teams and players in the league were watching our content season one. We ended up going to the studio, which happened to be in New York. And a lot of the players were like, hey, we love what you're doing. We love how you're doing it. So that in turn, I got an invite to the Brooklyn Nets. As you know, OG was who visited you guys. He's a good friend of mine. He invited us to their launch party of their franchise in the 2K League. At that meeting, I met the president of the NBA 2K League, Mr. Brandon Donahue, and he came up to me and Jelani and said, hey, I love your show. And at the time, we always looked at the show as a stepping stone to something else. So we told the 2K League, hey, look, take our show and, make it your own. We only created it because we need to fill a void in the community. People wanted to hear about the 2K League. And he said to us in that meeting, he said, I don't think you guys understand. We like your show. We want you guys to do your show for the NBA. So from that, I worked with them for about a year as an analyst. And then they were looking for someone to help bridge the gap between you guys and also the NBA. And that was to be like the community ambassador. So it's an interesting story. It was something I didn't really want. I was looking to be a head coach or a general manager for NBA franchise. That was like my dream, similar to what OG does. But, when you have good friends and you understand luck and opportunity, a lot of people came to me and said, hey, you would be great at the community ambassador role. We need you because you have relationships with the Cash Nasties, the Flight Reacts, the Cosmonauts, the Asian Zeros. Like those guys are good friends of mine. So he was like, we need you to help bring those people in to discuss and talk about the 2K League. And at the time I was like, yeah, that's true. And I really sat down with the NBA side and voila, I become the first person in NBA history to have my job. So now my role is very common in esports and very common in gaming, but it's not common to the NBA. So what that means is you can create a path for yourself that doesn't exist as long as you put the work in, as long as you put the effort in, Yeah, with that being said, that's a little short blurb on me. You guys have any 2K questions? I'm not Ronnie, so don't kill me. But do you have any 2K questions? You have any questions about how to, esports, how to become professional? Like, I want to make sure I give you guys some time to answer some questions.
Do you have any questions?
Are kids allowed to
Did you take your?
Are kids allowed to join the company? If the kids do join the company, do they get paid for it?
Say it again. Are kids allowed to do what?
To join the company, and if they do join the company, can they get paid for it?
It depends on what you want to do. To become a professional, you have to have graduated from high school, or your graduating class have to have graduated that year. So what that means is if you're 18, your class graduated, then you can participate. We do have internships and things of that nature, things that we're working on to bring in more of you guys. Personally, when we had our studio in New York, not so much work, but you can definitely intern and learn. I'll probably start doing once, the world gets in a little bit better place. I'll start bringing out students like you guys to come just kind of shadow me for a day to see what I do. I think that'd be cool. So I don't know if that answers your question, but hopefully that does. Any more questions?
That was job related, but what was the studio like before COVID shut it down?
What was the studio like? Amazing, man. So we used to, our first studio was in Long Island City. It's called, you're gonna find this funny, right? If you know New York, Long Island City's in Queens, but the name of the studio was called Brooklyn Studios, which used to confuse every New Yorker, but it was an amazing place. It's similar setup to you guys' room, right? Like you have chairs, monitors, consoles, PCs. We have about 4 rooms set up like that for practice before games. Then we had a main stage downstairs. We had great perform. We had like Fabulous come through and perform in our finals. We had a lot of great moments in that studio. Now, right before the pandemic, we actually have moved our studio to 34th Street in Manhattan, and we really was about to take off because that area is prime New York City, right? And then the pandemic happened, so we had to shut it down. But yeah, our studio was amazing. I'll send your teacher some pictures of it if I can find some, but I'll send them some so you guys can see what it looks like.
I appreciate that. So now I know you also mentioned just the industry as a whole and the fact that you, like you said, you had one of the first jobs in the NBA, which is common throughout the industry, or let's say on a club or a team, but in the NBA it's new. So with that understanding, we know that the industry is very new and there's paths that you can create. So I guess, can you speak to the industry as a whole, where it's at and why it's, I guess, so important to pay attention to the landscape of where it's at right now?
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of places I always tell people to go if you're interested. There's efuse.gg. They're very good. They're always in tune with what's going on at scholastic level. There's there's a lot of other places you can go. Generation Esports. I think for you guys, it's just starting. Like, if you want a career in esports, and the beauty about a career in esports, it's wide, right? Anything you see on a television production can be done in esports. Anything you see on a video game can be done in esports. So so open your mind to the possibility of doing something that you love. Like when I was your age, I'm at North Babylon High School. Had the same dream a lot of people have. I'm thinking I'm going to the NBA, right? We all think that, right? So but I made it to the NBA, right? And just in a very unique way. So I always want to give you this caveat: sky's the limit in terms of esports right now and where you can take it. Just remember, find your niche. If you love playing 2K, or if you love playing any esport like League of Legends, Overwatch, find that game, get really good at it if you want to become a professional, because you can do that the minute you turn 18. Secondly, if it's something bigger or more behind the scenes, talk to people like myself. My email always, I'll give you my social media handles, all that. Ask us questions, ask people like OG questions. We can help point you in the right direction.
Gotcha. Okay. And would you also say that when you talk about, like you said, the paths that you can create, and one path being professional, one path being entrepreneurial, when we look at the landscape as a whole, what originally, because I'm gonna tell you like this, when I found out about the 2K League in 19, I was blown away, right? I was like, you gotta be kidding me that the NBA is aligning itself in the esports industry. Now you see that happening a lot. What is it about the industry that the NBA 2K League aligned itself to want to be a part of it and also want to like capitalize on it altogether?
Yeah, I'll give you the short answer of it. When the pandemic hit, right? And just kind of give you a little background on how economy works. Like normally when there's a recession or a pandemic, it's usually computers, engineering, that industry suffers first. What happened in this pandemic, because everybody had to stay home, that industry boomed. So if you guys familiar with Twitch went from like 96 billion people watching to like a crazy number out bigger than that. So what happened was the industry grew tremendously in the last 2 years. But even before that, to your point, the industry has been up on an uptick since about the last 5 to 6 years. There's just, to be honest, it's just a lot of money in esports right now. There's billions of dollars in esports. There's a lot of companies, like great example, right? You guys might wear Champion. I see that he got on Under Armour. A lot of these companies want to be a part of esports because they want to connect with you guys. They know that you guys are at home playing video games, either on PC or console, and they want to be able to connect with you guys to learn how to, promote and market to you guys. So the industry is definitely booming right now. It's a great time to be a part of it. And the beauty of it is, even when times get rough like they are now, currently with the pandemic and stuff, you still able to maintain a job and actually grow in it.
That's beautiful. Now, and as you said, there's a lot of companies, both on a larger scale and on a smaller scale, that want to align with the consumers, the students, some of the competitive gamers. How would you say will be a good first step if somebody was interested to align themselves with some of these sponsorship dollars?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's how you market and promote yourself, right? One thing I always tell people, right? How many people familiar with like Cash Nasty or Flight Reacts in the class? All right, perfect. So what people don't know about like Cash Nasty, for 3 years straight, he worked at Walmart, also did a YouTube video and a Twitch stream every day for 3 years straight. And now every company in the world wants to work with Cash Nasty. He's worked with Champion, AT&T. He's now signed with 100 Thieves. So to tell you is, if you put a little bit of grind and effort and match that with consistency, companies will come banging on your door to work with. So how do you attain those sponsorships? By creating content and compelling content, and they will come. If you build it, they will come. That's simple.
There you go. That's good. All right, so we got about a couple minutes left. Any questions before we wrap this up?
Yes, how much money you made?
Oh man, why don't dig in the man's pockets?
No, it's fine. I think I won't give you the exact number, but I make 6 figures. Hey, remember, I'm just a kid from North Babylon, right? So
How much is 6 figures? 6 figures. If you don't know what 6 figures is, that's a different conversation.
And now I can't go that far with it.
Oh, 100,000 or better, to say it like that.
Well, actually, it's like, because I just want to know, like, more than 150, that's like crazy.
It doesn't matter. It's over.
Over 6,
It's not about like
100,000 plus. That's all.
Just know I live a very comfortable life.
And what is the job name of yours again?
NBA 2K League Global Community Ambassador.
You got Ronnie 2K number?
Of course. I have Ronnie's number. I have even people that work directly with Ronnie, OG Constance. I don't know if you watched the Logo Show, but I got OG Constance's number, Mitch's number. I know all the guys over there.
And
I do the same thing Ronnie does.
How long did it take you to what is it called? Get to that position that you're at right now?
I've been in my role for 3 years. I'm the first person in this role for the NBA and NBA history, so it didn't take me long. I guess if you want to put in the content part of it, in terms of just the league, probably a year to get to this role. But in terms of overall, like hustle and grind, about 6 years.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
So all you just have to do is really play the game and stream.
You got to be compelling. You got to be a good streamer, and then you also, it's more to it than that. But yes, creating content. Like right now, right? You guys probably on TikTok. You're probably on, IG. Creating content on those platforms matter. And also creating content on YouTube and Twitch matters. So yes, if you can create a brand for yourself, that's the key. Create a brand for yourself. What Ronnie did, or why Ronnie's successful, he created a brand for himself. While I'm successful, I created a brand for myself. It's like Pepsi or Coke, right? Black Frank White business can be sold with or without anybody else's help.
Okay. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you guys for your time. Now you gotta go. So thank you.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. We'll see you at the next Mitchel J Backus Live.
Where to?